Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Post. I'm Rob Dunwood.
And I'm Bodie Grimm.
And in this episode, we're going to be talking about tech that Bodie and I are taking to CES at the beginning of January. Both Bodie and I are going to be heading out to the largest consumer electronics show in the world. And we're going to be out, hang out in Vegas for, half a week or so. And as we do this, we're going as creators. So we're going to be taking quite a bit of tech with us. So Bodie, I'm excited to have this conversation, man, just about, just so I can find out if there's some stuff you got that I don't have that I need to take, just to make my life easier as a creator and vice versa.
Absolutely, Rob. So, we are doing these on very different budgets, right? You're going on behalf of the DTNS team. That doesn't mean you're not going to take your own tech. I'm going on behalf of 918 Digital or the Kilowatt Podcast. So, is it you, Tom, and Amos are going?
Yeah, myself, Tom, and Amos are the three representatives from Daily Tech News Show, although there will be other Daily Tech News Show contributors and folks that you have seen on the show many, many times who will be there that I'm sure will be stopping by as we do our shows throughout the week. That being said, I'm taking just for my benefit to capture what's going on out there and to have conversations with people in this, and that, and the other. My bag is going to be quite full as far as what I'm taking.
Yeah, and I'm just now thinking about this, but it might be good to have Amos on at some point in time, because I know I was there in 2023 when they were there with Rich Straffolino and Amos, and hearing those two talk about the amount of gear that they had to take in and going through security and all that stuff was actually really interesting. So that might be something we jot down and get Amos on to chat about that.
Yeah, we actually had a CES meeting just last week where Amos was on, and he's taken a Pelican case or two of stuff. He's got quite a bit of kit that he's taking, and one of the reasons is just because he's taking all the equipment that is going to be necessary for us to be able to run a video podcast right from the show floor. While we're there. So there's quite a bit of, kit that he's taking. But I, as well, I'll be recording stuff independently and doing stuff, on the show floor, trying to interview folks, trying to, I'd like to visit a booth or two to try to talk to people about various tech that I'm interested in as well. So, I'll let you start, Bodie. What is the first piece of tech that you are going to be taking with you to CES next month?
Okay. So the first piece is, I'm just going to start with something obvious, is my laptop. I'm not going to take the laptop to the convention, to the floor. I'll leave that in the hotel room, but I definitely am going to bring that so that I can be editing as soon as I get back to the hotel room.
Same here. I was trying to make the trip without having to take a laptop, but the sacrifices that I would make when I'm in my hotel room by not having one, it's just another 3.5 pounds, and we're not going to be carrying it around the show floor. Let's go ahead and take the laptop. So I'm doing that as well. The piece of tech that I will add, in addition to my laptop that I'm taking, I am taking not one, but two, two microphones. So I'll be taking my, ATR 2100X, and I'll also be taking my Samson Q2U, because you just never know when you're going to actually want to do some higher quality audio with someone that you can grab and sit down and maybe get an interview with. So those are the two microphones that I travel with, the most. I also have some Shure SM58s, but you have to use a recording device with those. Whereas these, I can plug them directly into my phone or directly into a laptop or tablet, what have you. So I will be taking both the ATX 2100X and the Samsung Q2U, which are both USB/XLR microphones they're relatively inexpensive. I mean, I put them on the low end as far as true podcasting mics that you would use, but they have a really, really good and rich sound quality to both of them.
I'm going to see your two microphones because I'm going to take my Hollyland Mark 1s, which are lavalier mics, and I'm going to take my AnkerWork M650 which are also lavalier mics. My Hollylands will be my backup mics, and my AnkerWorks will be my frontline. Hopefully this works every single time mics.
Okay. I too am taking a couple of lavalier mics. I'm taking the Hollyland Lark M2. So the little round dot version of your M1s that came out I think earlier this year. I think they came out in January of this year. So I want to be testing those out. I've actually used them before, but I've not used them in a setting like a CES. So we're going to just see how they work and how we go from there. So those will be something I'm taking as well. To go a little bit deeper, I am going to be doing a significant amount of video. And one of the questions that I had for myself was that, do I want to actually lug a full frame or even a, Micro Four Thirds camera? So, do I want to take my, my A7C? Do I want to take my FX30, my Sony FX30? And I haven't decided yet. So I want to see if I can get away with using my Sony ZV-1, which is a vlogging camera that I got probably, 4 or 5 years ago now. But it is a ridiculous piece of glass, as far as the lens on this thing is concerned. And it's so small. It literally is much thicker than a smartphone, but the dimensions of the Sony ZV-1 is actually smaller than my Samsung Galaxy S22. I can put this phone pretty much in any, I can't put it in my back pocket like I could a phone, but I can put it in my front pants pockets and it not, it not feel like it's too bulky. I could definitely put it in a jacket pocket, which I'll probably be wearing. It's not, it's a little chilly in Las Vegas, and they keep those, those exhibition halls pretty cool. So, I will be carrying my Sony ZV-1 to try to get most of my B-roll and, most of the, the camera shots that I will be doing as far as, if I were to ever set up an interview, that's the camera I think that I'm going to try to make it with, just because it cuts down significantly on the amount of size and weight and lenses. Because once you start taking bigger cameras, you start taking bigger lenses. And once you start picking bigger lenses, you can't just have one, you got to have two or maybe even three. And then you need batteries and you need all this stuff that just, increases the amount of weight. So the goal is to try to have as good of camera quality as possible, knowing that I'm not a video first person. And I think that I can get away with my Sony ZV-1.
Yeah, we just bought a ZV-E10 at work, and man, is that an amazing camera. Absolutely amazing. I'm not going to take a camera, but I am going to take my iPhone, and I'm planning on connecting my Hollylands or my AnkerWork M650s directly into the camera, so I get that good quality audio. So that is one of the things I'm taking. And I have an iPhone 14. It's not even like the newest iPhone, and it works just fine for this kind of thing. Another thing I'm taking is I have an Anker MagSafe battery for my phone to keep it charged. And then I have a 10,000 milliamp battery that I'm just going to keep in my bag, and it connects. I have one of those backpacks where it'll connect directly to the backpack, and then you can just charge it while your phone or whatever while you're walking around. So yeah, those are the things that I'm pretty much taking.
As someone who has been to CES on multiple occasions, Bodie, batteries, extra power is a very, 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 very important thing. Because chances are, even if it's just your cell phone or, your smartphone, you will be taking enormous amounts of video and enormous amounts of pictures that just eat through your battery. So you're definitely going to want to have some type of battery backup. I too am taking them. In fact, I'm taking 2 Anker batteries. One of them is a 10,000 milliamp battery that also has a GaN charger built into it. So I can use it as my charge, to charge my phone up, when there is no power. And then I can also plug it in and power up the battery and power up the phone or whatever I plug into it as well. So I'll be taking that. And then I will also be taking, I think my larger Anker battery is 30,000 milliamps. So I could actually charge my laptop. Now, the laptop won't run off of the battery power from this, but it is powerful enough to charge a laptop up. I can get a couple of full charges when the laptop is not in use out of that 30,000 milliamp battery. Now, I won't really need that for the show floor because I have no desire or intention to carry my laptop around on the show floor. But more power is always a good thing. I have never heard anyone say, you know what, I just brought too many things to allow me to charge my stuff up when I'm walking around the show. So I will have those in for no other reason than I said that I'm going to have my smartphone out. I'll have my hopefully only my Sony ZV-1. That's a tiny camera, which also has tiny batteries. So I actually have a battery pack of batteries that you can charge up so that I always have a fresh battery to slap into that camera. It'll just be plugged into my 30,000 milliamp Anker battery that's in my bag, always charging at least 2 of my 3 batteries that I'll be taking with me up. So extra battery power is always a good thing.
And a good point on the GaN charger. I have a GaN charger that I got the last time I was at CES from one of the booths. And I don't know, it's like gallium nitride. I don't know what the magic is in a GaN charger, but it just allows for really fast charging without a lot of heat.
That's exactly it. Very fast charging, not a lot of heat. And, you know, like I said, you know, the thing with non-GaN chargers is that the faster they are, or the faster charger they are, just the more heat they produce, to the point to where they almost get dangerous. So when you see the really fast charging battery chargers, they're almost all GaN chargers at this point, or some similar type of technology.
Yeah.
So, let me throw out another device that I am going to be taking. I am also taking my DJI Osmo Mobile 6 gimbal, which is a stabilizer for my phone. So, you know, I actually will be taking not just one phone, but, you know, a couple of phones, and one of the phones that will live on the gimbal. It just makes it easier to get shots. It makes it, if I want to, you know, CES is very crowded. So there's a lot of people there. Fortunately, I'm tall, but even when I want to just take my phone and hold it up above people, it's kind of hard to do that. You have to two-hand it, and you're kind of standing there like making the letter O while holding your phone up. But if you have a gimbal, you can get it up even a little higher, and you can, you know, change your camera angles and all that kind of stuff. So I'm taking the gimbal for no other reason that you just be able to lift my phone safely above all the crowd, so that if I'm at an event and there's something is being unveiled, I can actually get video of that on my cell phone.
Yeah, that's smart.
And they're super light too. It's like I'm trying to not take a ton of tech with me just because I want to keep the weight of that bag down. The DJI Osmo Mobile 6 is super light. I mean, I don't know how much it weighs, but it weighs practically nothing when the phone's not attached to it.
Yeah, and if you're taking a camera somewhere, an actual DSLR camera, the DJI RS3 Mini Gimbal Stabilizer, that thing's a great tool as well. Don't let the name fool you. It says mini. It is not mini. It's still a really good, it's still really big. It's just mini for a gimbal. But yeah, there's a whole compatibility check that you have to do before you buy these type of things to make sure that your camera works with it. But that is a great gimbal as well. Let's see. Do you have? I have one thing that I'm taking that's a little unorthodox, Rob, and that is my Rog Ally X gaming console. So just in case I'm stuck in my room or bored in my room, I have something to do.
I always carry a Xbox controller in my laptop bag, just because I can game on my laptop with, I can play Xbox games on my laptop. I generally play them on my tablet, which is great for playing Xbox games, on your tablet. So I wasn't even thinking of that, because it literally just lives. It never comes out of my bag. I just always have it with me. I thought about, though, I want to take something like my Nintendo Switch, which I do play fairly regularly. And it's like, I'm not going to do that because, once again, I'm trying to keep the amount of weight down. And then I'm going to be at CES, and I would imagine I'm just not going to have the time to actually game like that. If I do find myself sitting in a hotel room and I have nothing to do, I'll pull out the Xbox controller and play something online. But that is something that I don't generally think I need to take to CES this trip. One of the things that I am going to take is a wireless, or I shouldn't say a wireless, but I'm going to take a travel router that will give me wireless in my room without having to put multiple devices on the hotel Wi-Fi. So hotels still have wired, have wired, the ability for you to plug into and get your internet access in a wired way. And when you think about the number of people that are going to be at CES and the number of people that have devices and stuff like that, the Wi-Fi is just never great. So I am taking my wireless router just so I can create my own personal network in my room, plug it in, get actual wired data to the router, and then don't have to worry about trying to connect all of my devices to a Wi-Fi network in a hotel.
That's smart. Do you remember which one you're using? Because I had a travel one for a while, and I have no idea where it went.
Let's see. I can't see it. If you give me 1 second, I will tell you.
Yeah, absolutely. Wired headphones with the modern.
I am taking the Opal pocket-sized travel router with top-notch security features. It's brand new in the box.
Okay.
So, like I said, can't really show you much about it. I haven't even cracked this thing open yet. And I have probably 3 travel routers, but this is a brand new one that someone sent me, so I'm going to test it out.
All right. Opal travel Wi-Fi
In
router.
addition to the travel
it's $30.
router. I'm sorry?
Is it $30?
I think so. It was not very expensive.
Oh. Yeah, that's cheap.
But what's nice about these things is that I am a Android user and I am a Chromecast user. And one of the things just like my Xbox controller, I keep a Chromecast just in my bag. And with my existing travel router, which I believe is a TP-Link, the one that I normally use, my Chromecast is just already configured to work with it. So all I have to do is get that thing onto the hotel network, and then my Chromecast just automatically works. And I can even use with this Opal, I can even use, I can set up Wi-Fi on my phone as a hotspot, connect this to it, and then basically route through through my phone. So it's a great little device.
All right, Rob, is there anything else? I can't think of anything. I'm going to take a good pair of shoes. I got my Apple Watch because you walk a lot at these things. I got my phone, got all the chargers for all my devices. Is there anything you can think of that maybe we're missing?
Yeah. So cables. It never fails that there's a cable that you don't have that you need to take. So I want to make sure that I actually have USB-C cables. I'm going to actually have USB micro cables because my phone is a little older and actually takes a micro USB. I will have a HDMI cable for my phone so I can plug my phone directly into a capture card if necessary, to be able to do that. I will have my Elgato capture card. So basically all the things that allow me to connect my devices to whatever I'm using to be able to get data into them and out of them, I will be carrying that as well. And then the one thing that I will say is that I actually have a little travel, in addition to my travel router, I have a travel UPS, device. I can't think of the name of it. I don't have it close to me. It's actually upstairs with my luggage, but it gives me the ability to, we're just going to Vegas, so I don't have to worry about international plugs, but this will work anywhere in the world. I can plug in Europe and Asia. Doesn't matter where you are, you'll be able to plug in. It gives me, I think, 4 outlets that are very well surge protected, as well as 4 USB ports that are fast chargers. So one little device that will allow me to charge up to 8 things simultaneously. 4 plugs and 4 USB fast chargers. And it's always good to have that because no matter where you are, you never have enough ports to plug in stuff to get it charged up. And this little device makes it easy for me to do.
No, that's great. Like if you're in the middle of the Hong Kong airport and you need to plug in and there's one outlet available and you have 4 things to plug in, or even if somebody you want to be nice and let somebody else charge, that's a good way to make friends at the airport.
Exactly.
All right, Rob. Well, I think this was a good episode.
Yeah, it's amazing how much stuff you end up taking with you. And like I said, my goal is I want to be as light as possible. So like I said, I can't guarantee it. We're going to see how it works. I'm actually going to do some test recording here over the holidays and some vlog style recording here over the holidays just to see, can I get away with just having a very, very small pocketable camera as compared to having a much larger full frame, or even something like my Sony FX30 with the handle and, and multiple lenses and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be interesting.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward. Maybe we, after CES, we get together and do like a post-mortem of what we could have done better or what worked really well.
Oh, absolutely. And I will just throw this out there because I think this is going to go out before CES. If you are at CES and you're listening to this show, let us know. Can't promise that we'll be able to hook up, but it'd be lovely just to have you stop by, somewhere, at a mutually agreed upon spot and just say, hey, have a drink or something like that. It would be really cool. So let us know if you're going to be there.
I agree. All right, everybody. If this goes out this is going to go out to everybody. So if you want to support us on Patreon, you can go to beyondthepost.fm/Patreon. I think that's the first time I got that right on the first try. And then, season 3 update is looking at middle of January. We've pretty much got everything recorded. We've just got a couple things to wrap up in terms of recording, and that's it. We're on our way to season 3, and I'm looking forward to it, and I think you all are going to really enjoy it.
Well, all right, folks. As always, it's a pleasure. And be sure to follow us at Beyond the Post on all the things.